Train Dreams, starring Joel Edgerton, is wrote and directed by Clint Bentley, who I've never heard of before, and not for nothing, didn't watch a trailer. I was doom scrolling through X this morning, and I haven't done a review in a couple of weeks. I've been really busy, and as I was scrolling through, I kept seeing people talk about this film that just released onto Netflix with no word, no real advertisement, and it's partially because the budget was $10 million for this film. This film is not, and it's not a film that I would have expected to have blown up the way it does. It's not gratuitous. It's not, and I don't mean to do this disservice to the film when I say this. It's not overly exciting in the way that you would think. There's no gunfire. There's no explosions. It's deep and it's powerful. And Joel Edgerton plays Robert Grainer. Joel Edgerton plays Robert Grainer, a railroad worker and logger throughout the early 1900s. And it's a man who is very quiet, very to himself, leaves no real impression until he meets Felicity Jones, and they find a nice spot. They start building a life together. They have a kid. And the journey is just a man trying to make his way in the world. I know I shouldn't have been thinking about it while watching this. Almost A Million Ways to Die in the West-esque in terms of similar setting. And that's it. That's it. And the fact that the job they're doing is so dangerous that sometimes people don't make it through no fault of their own. And the film really is Joel Edgerton just going through this hardship and this life. He's able to give so much emotion without saying very much. There is a moment at the midway film where he goes through a great tragedy. I'm not going to spoil anything. And time is passing. And there's good dogs in this film, by the way. There's so many good dogs in this film. And there's a moment when he's playing with one of the dogs and he smiles. Like, it's very light, but it's the first time he smiled in a really long time. And set against the backdrop that it has, the cinematography, this film is stunning. Absolutely beautiful. You can pause this film at any point and it is incredible to look at. And just in that one scene, just the amount of raw emotion he's able to show without having to tell you anything. It doesn't pander. It just lets you sit in the moment, and it's not afraid. And it's not afraid to let you sit in the moment and take it in. It doesn't rush from scene to scene. It lets you sit with Grainer and feel what he's going through. And yet, for all this tragedy and everything that he goes through in his life, there's always a sense of hope. And I really do think that comes from Edgerton's performance. I think he is outstanding in this film. I'll try not to give away too much, and I won't leave this too long. This film is powerful in it, and it's beautiful. And if you watch this and you like this, go on back onto Netflix and watch Godless, starring Jack O'Connell, because that came and went. No one ever spoke about it, and yet it's very, very similar in not just the time period, but the sort of the struggles that they went through at that time period and how difficult life was. Felicity Jones is incredible in this. It's narrated by Will Patton, who was in The Fourth Kind and The Punisher. He's done a bunch of stuff. Narration like this, don't think should work in the way that it does, but it never makes you feel like it's over-exposited. It tells you exactly what you need to know, no more, no less. And I really, really love. He's got a great voice, and it works for the film. And there is the cast in this all the way through is great. All these little moments with certain people, recognizable, unrecognizable along the way. So there's a really, really fantastic moment in this film, very, very early on, where there's a group of people all sitting around, a bunch of loggers, and somebody turns up to looking for a guy. There's the most action this film has, and it's a single gunshot. And the dude turns around, explains why he's there, and just says, if anyone else has a problem with what's just happened, tell me now. I don't want to spend the rest of my life looking over my shoulder. And then moves on. And it sets up the history of this world and really gives a sense of immersion where everyone has all these individual stories, and you don't need to know any more than that. their story's played out and there it is, and then you move on, and it's done in such an incredible way, and it never feels forced at all. This film completely blew me away, genuinely took me by surprise, and I definitely am going to watch it again at some point. I'm a little bit gutted that it didn't play in cinemas, because this film, like I've said it 100 times. This film is beautiful. I understand why it wasn't put in theaters, and that it has super low budget, 10 million. I don't know how you would market this film in a way that would appeal to a massive audience. Even a small release wouldn't make it to me. I'm in the middle of nowhere, but I can understand why it was taken to Netflix. It feels very, very much like a project of passion, and it shines through in everything, in the smallest scenes, little moments, tiny, tiny musical score. Just everyone in this is incredible. So I do understand it is just a shame, because I would love to have seen this in cinema, but it's a Netflix thing, so I don't expect any less. Anyway, I was completely floored by this film. I just really wanted to take a second and talk about it. And please let me know what you think down below, because I'd love to know what everyone else is thinking. This film came out of nowhere, and it's just incredible. So I would love to know how everyone else is thinking and feeling. Before you do anything, don't forget to like and subscribe. And despite some of the comments from my previous video, these are not brochures. They are 2-hour reads, and they are books that I wrote myself with my brain and my words and a laptop. 2 laptops, 3. I went for them. It was an accident. Long story. Doesn't matter. I'm rambling. Buy my books. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, really appreciate it, and look forward to the next one. Take care, guys.